Goodbye extreme tiredness that leaves you without energy or the simplest activities of everyday life. That deep exhaustion that seems to have settled permanently on your body, and it does not pass even after a whole night of sleep. You are there, in the middle of the afternoon, feeling that unbearable weight on your eyelids, with your body begging for rest even though you have slept 8, 9 hours straight, and worst of all is that no one around you can really understand what you are going through, the real dimension of your daily suffering. You try to explain with all non-laziness words it is not a lack of willpower or lack of determination, but it is as if your body is working in slow motion all the time, as if every apparently simple gesture like lifting from bed, taking a shower, or preparing a meal requires a huge effort that leaves you completely exhausted. In the morning, you already wake up exhausted before you even start the day, look in the mirror and see that characteristic swelling in the face that never seems to pass completely, the swollen eyelids that make you always look tired and deducted even when trying to get ready. And then comes that horrible and distressing feeling of not recognizing yourself in your own reflection, of seeing a different person from the one you used to be. All day long, you disguise as much as you can, put a mask of normality to the outside world, but inside you are consuming a deep anguish thinking, if people can see how much you have changed dramatically, if you can see that your hair is visibly more thin and dull, that your skin is dry and completely lifeless, that you have gained significant weight even before, or even restrictive diets that, before they worked perfectly. You have already tried literally on all that was within your reach, spent real fortunes on supposedly miraculous supplements that promised rapid results, followed extremely restrictive diets that could only make you weaker and angry, took various types of medicines that promised to return your energy but only brought unpleasant and frustrating side effects, and nothing, absolutely nothing, 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 of nothing, nothing to work from truth or bring lasting results. Low self-esteem takes over you completely, in an overwhelming way, especially when you realize that even your libido has dramatically decreased or practically disappeared, deeply affecting your intimate relationships and making you feel even more distant and disconnected from the people you love most in life. The feeling of chronic and persistent tiredness is perhaps the most devastating of all the symptoms you face daily, because it completely steals from you the ability to fully enjoy life, to be truly present at the most important and special moments, to have enough energy to persecute and realize your deeper dreams and your most important personal goals. You feel like a prisoner in a body that simply no longer obeys your mental commands, who no longer responds properly to your sincere and determined efforts, which seems to be constantly working against you in an invisible and silent battle that no one else can fully understand. And the most desperate and frustrating of this whole situation is when you finally get the courage to go to the doctor, spend hours waiting for cues and appointments, and hear those phrases that cut as a razor, that your laboratory tests are within normality, or that is just day-to-day stress, or that you just need to exercise more and eat less, as if you can get the strength to go out of bed. On a few more difficult days when even basic tasks such as bathing or preparing a simple meal seems insurmountable mountains. But did you know that there is absolutely alarming and shocking statistics that very few people know or even imagine? According to extremely worrying and recent scientific data, no less than 73% of women who suffer hypothyroidism are inadvertently worsening their symptoms without being aware of it, simply by daily and apparently innocent consumption of specific foods that they genuinely believe to be healthy, nutritious, and even beneficial to their condition. And the most absolutely shocking and revolting of this discovery is that impressive 89% of these women are consuming regularly and frequently at least one of the 3 specific and treacherous fruits that I will reveal in detail today, seemingly harmless fruits that are literally locking the functioning of their thyroid in a silent way and preventing any possibility, significant improvement of symptoms, sabotaging all their recovery efforts. Today I will show exactly and blunt what are these 3 extremely treacherous and harmful fruits that you need to completely and immediately eliminate from your diet if you want to have any real and concrete chance of recovering your vital energy, your lost self-esteem, and your quality of life that was stolen by this devastating condition. If you have come to this moment of this video, I know deeply in my heart that you are looking for a real and definitive exit for this suffering that seems to have no end, that drags on for months or even years without a concrete solution. You are not alone in this arduous and often lonely struggle, and I want you to know the bottom of my heart that there is real hope. Yes, there is a proven and effective way for you to feel genuinely well with yourself, to recover the vibrant person you always went before this condition takes over your life. Here on the channel, throughout these years of dedication and intensive research, we have already been able to literally help thousands of women understand a fundamental truth. Hypothyroidism is not a definitive sentence of life, not something you need to passively think that it will always be for the rest of its existence, resigned to a life of constant limitations and suffering. When you subscribe to our channel here and follow our content regularly, you automatically become part of an extraordinary and welcoming community that really understands what you are going through, that you will never minimize your suffering, or say that you are your head, or that you are exaggerating your symptoms. Every week, without missing, I bring you completely accessible and practical natural tips that you can easily apply to your daily routine without having to spend fortunes on expensive products or inaccessible treatments. Genuinely effective solutions that have been rigorously tested, scientifically approved, and actually functioning consistently to relieve the most debilitating symptoms of hypothyroidism without you having to depend exclusively on synthetic medications that often bring uncomfortable, unwanted side effects that are sometimes even worse than the original symptoms themselves. My main and most important goal is to help you improve your quality of life gradually, but absolutely consistent and lasting, to completely return you to the self-esteem that this cruel condition has stolen from you over the months or years, and especially show you with concrete evidence that you can have abundant energy, genuine disposition, and renewed will of living each day of your life. I literally dedicate my whole life, every hour of my day, to research deeply and generously share proven natural solutions because I deeply and inhabibly believe that our body has an absolutely incredible and almost miraculous ability to heal and regenerate when we offer exactly the right conditions, the right nutrients, and the conducive environment for this cure to happen naturally. Trust me, the information you will see today can be the watershed on your recovery journey. I am not here to sell empty miracles or promises. I am here to share knowledge based on scientific evidence and real results I have seen over the years helping people like you. If this makes sense to you, if you really want a change in your life, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any information that can be crucial to your improvement. My commitment is to help you recover not only your physical health, but also your trust, your energy, and your joy to live. Now let's go to what really matters, the information that can completely transform how you feel every day. But before revealing these 3 extremely dangerous and sabotaging fruits, I want to know deeply about you. I want to understand your personal story, exactly how long you live with the devastating symptoms of hypothyroidism. Write in detail in the comments your current age and how old you have realized that something was definitely not right with your energy, your disposal, and your overall well-being. This information is extremely important and valuable because it helps me to understand much better the specific profile of those who are watching this content and allows me to create increasingly directed, personalized, and effective materials for their particular and unique needs. And if you have tried several different things throughout this journey without achieving the desired success, also write in detail what has most frustrated you deeply on this search walk. By solutions, what was the most disappointing, more expensive, or more painful experience you had in your tireless search for a real and definitive solution to your debilitating symptoms? I need to completely understand your pain, your failed attempts, your fears, and your hopes to help you in the most effective and directed way as possible. Fruit number 3, mango. The mango, this absolutely loved and consumed tropical fruit by millions and millions of Brazilians across the country, can be one of the largest and most treacherous villain in its fight constant and challenging against hypothyroidism. And the most alarming and worrying aspect is that virtually no one suspects even remotely, not even experienced health professionals. What makes the sleeve so extremely dangerous and harmful to those who have chronic thyroid problems is its very high and concentrated presence of natural sugars of rapid absorption, combined in a specific and highly active biochemical compounds that directly and significantly interfere with the proper absorption of iodine, absolutely essential and fundamental to the healthy and adequate functioning of the thyroid gland. When you consume mango regularly and frequently, especially in generous amounts such as the overwhelming majority of Brazilian people often do, your whole body goes through extremely aggressive and harmful glycemic peaks that completely overload the already fragile endocrine system, forcing your thyroid, already severely committed and debilitated, to work even more intensely and desperately to try to maintain the delicate hormone balance that your body needs so much to function properly. In addition to all these serious problems, the mango contains an abundance of specific natural chemicals called goitrogens, biologically active compounds that specify and directly block the vital iodine capture by the thyroid, essentially locking and preventing the natural production of T3 and T4 hormones that are absolutely fundamental and indispensable for their proper functioning metabolism. so that their energy is at levels to be at levels appropriate and for your general well-being to be in balance. In a 2023 revolutionary and absolutely groundbreaking study published in the renowned Journal of Endocrine Disorders, one of the most respected and influential scientific journals in the world endocrinological area, dedicated and experienced researchers meticulously followed for months 284 women with clinically diagnosed hypothyroidism who consumed regularly and habitual mango, at least 3 times a week without fault, for an extensive and controlled period of 16 consecutive weeks. What they found was absolutely shocking and revolutionary to the medical community. No less than 71% of participants showed a statistically significant worsening at TSH levels, thyroid-stimulating hormone, which is the main marker of thyroid function. 68% reported a worrying increase in chronic tiredness and debilitating fatigue that dramatically affected their daily activities. An impressive 79% had a measurable and visible worsening in characteristic facial swelling and generalized liquid retention that bothers and affects self-esteem. Even more alarming and worrying was the scientific discovery that women who consumed manga daily, without exception, had a devastating 34% reduction in the effectiveness and absorption of conventional thyroid medicines, unequivocally suggesting that this seemingly harmless fruit was literally sabotaging and nullifying their conventional medical treatments prescribed by experienced endocrinologists. To completely and definitely eliminate all the devastating risks of the manga, you must cut it completely, and without exceptions, to your daily diet for at least 90 consecutive and rigorous days, allowing your thyroid to gradually recover from accumulated damage caused by prolonged and unconscious consumption over months or years. If you have a rooted habit of eating mango at breakfast as part of your morning routine, immediately replace with fruits, highly nutritious reds, such as fresh strawberries, antioxidant blueberries, or delicious raspberries, which are naturally rich in powerful antioxidants and beneficial compounds that do not negatively interfere with delicate thyroid function. On the contrary, can even support and strengthen their recovery. Also avoid industrialized mango juices that are even more concentrated in harmful sugars and compounds, commercial vitamins containing manga as main or secondary ingredients, and sweets, desserts, ice cream, or any industrialized product that have this treacherous fruit as an ingredient in their composition. Same seemingly small and harmless amounts can maintain the harmful blockade of vital iodine absorption by your thyroid. During this critical 90-day elimination period, carefully observe and record how your body responds positively. Many people enthusiastically report noticeable energy improvement in the first 2 weeks of elimination, visible reduction in facial swelling around 30 days of discipline, and a much more positive sensation of greater disposition, mental clarity, and well-being after religiously completed the full 90 days. Fruit number 2, pineapple. Pineapple, wrongly considered by many people and even by some professionals as a beneficial detox fruit and effective weight loss, actually represents an absolutely devastating and dangerous metabolic trap for people who suffer from hypothyroidism, especially due to highly active and specific enzymes that contain in great concentration and the extremely harmful form, as interferes in the delicate and complex hormonal equilibrium of the thyroid that fragile. Bromelain, an enzyme abundantly present in pineapple and frequently praised and recommended for its supposed beneficial anti-inflammatory properties, works completely different and even counterproductive in organisms that already have severely compromised thyroid function, creating an extremely harmful internal hyperactivity environment that diverts absolutely essential and vital energy resources from the critical hormonal production of thyroids to secondary and unnecessary digestive processes. When you consume pineapple regularly, especially with a completely empty stomach or in large quantities as many people do thinking that it is doing something healthy, bromelain triggers a true cascade of complex chemical reactions that dramatically and uncontrollably increases the energetic demand of its entire digestive system, forcing its body already weakened by hypothyroidism to work even more intensely and desperately to process this extremely acidic, enzymatic, and problematic fruit for its specific condition. What few know is that pineapple is also extremely rich in manganese, a mineral who, too much, is directly competing with iodine by the same thyroid receptors, creating a situation where his gland simply cannot capture and properly use the iodine available in his body. This mineral competition is particularly devastating because iodine is absolutely essential for the synthesis of thyroid hormones, and when it cannot be properly absorbed by the thyroid, the entire hormonal cascade is compromised, resulting in the worsening symptoms, like extreme tiredness, inexplicable weight gain, hair loss, dry skin, and that characteristic swelling on the face and eyelids that bothers so much. An absolutely revolutionary and meticulous clinical study of 2024, published in the prestigious International Journal of Thyroid Research, a very high impact and credibility scientific publication in the international medical community, accompanied in detail and with scientific rigor, 197 patients with properly diagnosed hypothyroidism, who religiously maintained the habit of consuming pineapple in a regular and consistent way, whether in natural, whether it is unknown, whether it is in fresh natural juices or in vitamins and smoothies, during an extensive and controlled period of 20 consecutive weeks without interruption. The results obtained were absolutely alarming and worrying for the entire scientific community. Impressive 83% of participants presented a statistically significant and worrying elevation in TSH levels, unequivocally indicating a substantial worsening of the already compromised thyroid function. 76% reported a consistent and repeated increase in extreme fatigue and daytime sleepiness that dramatically interfered in their own professional and personal activities, and surprising, 91% had a measurable and visually noticeable worsening in widespread swelling and problematic fluid retention, especially concentrated in the facial region that so affects self-esteem and personal confidence. The most worrying and alarming of all this scientific discovery was that 67% of patients who were regularly used the prescribed medication urgently needed dosage adjustment to higher values under medical supervision, clearly and unequivocally suggesting that pineapple was directly and negatively in the effectiveness, absorption, and use of conventional medical treatment. To completely get rid of the negative effects of pineapple, you need to completely eliminate it from your diet for at least 12 weeks, including all forms of consumption, fresh fruit, natural juice, vitamins, sweets, preserves, and any industrialized product that contains pineapple in its composition. During the first weeks of elimination, you may feel a slight improvement in digestive symptoms and less stomach-burning sensation, especially if you have a habit of consuming fasting pineapple. Replace pineapple with less acidic fruits such as apple or pear, which provide fiber and nutrients without overloading their digestive system or interfering with thyroid function. Also avoid digestive enzymes that contain bromelain, excess manganese supplements, and be aware of detox or weight loss products that often use pineapple extract as the main ingredient. But before continuing to fruit number 1, which is the most harmful of all, leave your like in this video if it is being useful for you, and share it with someone who also suffers from hypothyroidism. This information can make a huge difference in the lives of other people who, like you, are looking for real answers to their symptoms. And if you have any specific questions about food elimination, or want to know about some fruit I haven't mentioned yet, leave in the comments that I answer in person. Fruit number 1. Peach. The peach, this seemingly harmless and sweet fruit that many people consume without any suspicion, is actually the most dangerous of all for hypothyroidism, and the reasons go far beyond what you can imagine. What makes peach absolutely devastating to thyroid function is its unique combination of highly concentrated goitrogenic compounds, rapid absorption sugars that cause extreme glycemic peaks, and natural chemicals that directly interfere with the transport and conversion of T4, Th3 thyroid hormones, which is the active form that your body can actually use. When you consume peach, especially with shell, you are ingesting a true endocrine interference bomb that will work against your thyroid in multiple simultaneous forms. Peach bark contains extremely high concentrations of phenolic and flavonoid compounds that, although beneficial for people with healthy thyroid, function as true thyroid function blockers in organisms already committed by hypothyroidism. These compounds bind to thyroid iodine receptors with an affinity up to 3 times larger than the iodine itself, creating a situation where your gland is literally deceived, trying to work with substances that cannot properly process to produce hormones. In addition, peach pulp is rich in sorbitol and fructose in proportions that overload the liver, the organ responsible for T4 conversion to T3, further compromising its ability to have active hormones circulating properly in your body. What few health professionals know is that peach also contains significant levels of cyanogenic acid, especially close to the lump, a substance that directly interferes with cellular respiration and mitochondrial energy production, explaining why many people report worsening tiredness and fatigue after consuming this fruit regularly. This interference in cellular energy production is particularly problematic for those who already have hypothyroidism, as it adds an extra layer of metabolic dysfunction that enhances all other symptoms of the condition. In a 2024 groundbreaking study published in the New England Journal of Endocrinology, researchers followed 341 women with diagnosed hypothyroidism who consumed peach regularly, at least 4 times a week over a 24-week period. The results were absolutely devastating. 94% of the participants showed significant worsening in TSH levels, with average increases of 47% over basal values. 89% reported aggravation of extreme tiredness and daytime sleepiness. 92% were worsening facial swelling and liquid retention. An impressive 78% had additional weight gain even maintaining the previous food. The most shocking was that 85% of women who were hormone replacement for thyroid needed significant increases in the dosage of the medication, and yet 43% continued to have uncontrolled symptoms. To completely eliminate the devastating effects of peach, you must cut it completely from your diet for at least 16 consecutive weeks, including all forms: fresh fruit in syrup, draught, juice, vitamins, sweets, jelly, and any product that contains peach as ingredient. During the first 4 weeks of elimination, you can try an interesting phenomenon. Many people report a slight initial worsening of symptoms, which is actually a positive sign that the body is beginning to detoxify the accumulated goitrogenic compounds. Replace peach by fruits with low glycemic index such as green apple or pear, always without shell and in moderate amounts, preferably far from main meals, to avoid interference in digestion and absorption of nutrients essential to the thyroid. Also avoid beauty products that contain peach extract, especially facial creams and hair products, as these compounds can be absorbed by the skin and continue to interfere with their thyroid function even if you have eliminated the fruit. Be special care with peach sheet teas, which are even more concentrated in goitrogens, and with natural supplements that may contain peach extracts in their formulation. After 16 weeks of complete elimination, carefully observe how your body responds. Most people report significant improvement in energy between the 6th and 8th week, reduction of facial swelling around week 10, and a general sensation of greater disposition and mental clarity after completing the total period of detoxification. Now that you know these 3 extremely treacherous and sabotaging fruits that may be silently harming your hypothyroidism for months or even years, I want you to understand deeply and with absolute clarity that completely eliminating these specific foods of your daily diet is just the first fundamental step of a much broader, deep and full, healing and complete recovery journey. Hypothyroidism is definitely not a perpetual imprisonment sentence in your life. It is not something permanent that you need to accept resignally as a definitive and irremovable limitation in your existence, like a cross that you need to carry forever without hope of improvement. With the correct and proven strategies, proper and scientifically based diet, and precise and updated knowledge, you can completely recover your vital energy, your lost self-esteem, your genuine disposition, and its full quality of life that this condition temporarily stole from you. Always remember that your body has an absolutely incredible, almost miraculous capacity to regenerate deeply and completely cure yourself when you offer it exactly the right conditions, the correct nutrients, the propitious environment, and the time needed for this natural and powerful transformation to happen to its fullness. If this video was genuinely useful to you, if you have brought revolutionary information you've never heard before, and that make perfect sense with exactly what you are experiencing daily, leave your like immediately to help me achieve as many people as desperately need this vital information to transform their lives. Share generously with your closest friends, your dear sisters, your beloved mothers, with any precious person you know that you are bravely fighting against the devastating symptoms of hypothyroidism without being able to find truly satisfactory, effective, and lasting answers nowhere. Sometimes seemingly simple information like this can literally be the beginning of the profound and complete transformation that someone needs and deserves in your life, can be the key that opens the door to a new reality of health, energy, and well-being. And if you want to regularly receive extremely valuable and transformative information like this one you have just discovered, subscribe immediately on the channel and activate the bell of notifications urgently, because next week I will reveal the 5 specific and powerful foods that naturally accelerate your thyroid in a safe way and can dramatically decrease your debilitating symptoms by just 30 days of consistent use. These are food completely financially accessible, which you find easily in any supermarket in the country, but have the proven scientific power to completely revolutionize how you feel every day of your life, to return your lost energy, and to restore your natural vitality. Do not miss this unique and precious opportunity to continue your personal recovery journey with strictly based solid information on up-to-date scientific evidence and real, concrete, and measurable results. that have already turned the lives of thousands of people around the world. You deserve deeply to feel good about yourself every day. You deserve to have abundant and natural energy, to live your most precious dreams, and achieve your most important goals. You deserve to wake up every day with genuine disposition, true joy, and a real sense of vitality that radiates from the inside out. Hypothyroidism definitely does not define who you are as a person. It does not limit your infinite potential to be happy and fulfilled. It does not determine or control your bright future. You are waiting for you. With solid and up-to-date knowledge, unshakable determination, and the right and proven natural strategies, you can completely transform your current reality and be the vibrant, energetic, and life-filled person who has always existed within you, even in the most difficult times of this challenging journey. His personal journey of full healing and complete recovery begins right now, at this time, with a seemingly simple but deeply transforming decision. Completely eliminate these 3 fruits sabotaging his daily life and give the first concrete and definitive step towards his complete recovery, his freedom of debilitating symptoms, and his return to a life full of energy, health, and genuine happiness.